Yay.
Yay, we're
Jeffrey's
live.
here
Hi.
from San Diego.
Yes.
What station are you on in San Diego?
KUSI. But this is still
KUSI.
home. I mean, the desert is home. The desert's like nothing else. You come back to the desert and you run into somebody everywhere you go, which maybe is a good thing or a bad thing, depending on if you've taken a shower or brushed your teeth. But,
or how you've behaved in the past.
yeah, I guess that's true. I think we need to talk more about that with you.
No, I try to behave myself, right? So we're
So this is
super
home.
excited to have you back. You know,
I don't
you've been
go-
coming for
I
years
mean,
and years.
yes, I have for years and years and decades, and I
years,
will be.
3
No, a lot
years.
longer than that. A lot longer. But you know, it's true. I will never leave Tim. That's the bottom line. And I was telling him earlier, and no offense to any other, you know, doctor or cosmetology or dermatologist out there, but when you find that one that knows your face and knows how to not make you look like everybody else, but to kind of just make you look like yourself better. And I think that's what I just absolutely love about Tim, and that's why I continue to come back.
Yeah, it's so nice for her to say this, but we
It's
have
true.
to say, I'm sorry? I know, good. Okay, we're good. Okay. So yeah, one of the things though I have to say is, I mean, if you look at Ginger, Ginger is gorgeous. So it's pretty easy to make her look good, right? And so, but she's got a great face. Now we did a little bit of the consultation before we went live, so we're just going to kind of go over it again.
Okay.
So when you look at your face, I'm going to give you the mirror.
Okay.
Is there any area? 'Cause
Yes.
I always like to know what's bothering the patient, because sometimes it'll be something that I don't even see, that nobody else in the room would see. But if that's what you're focused in on, that's what we need to concentrate on. So, so I'd like to hear what you have to say, and then I always like to give a couple suggestions.
And understand when you're talking to Tim, he's not looking in your eyes. He's scanning your whole face.
That's only when I was like trying to plan what we were going to do.
But it's great because, you know, I'm talking and I appreciate that because I talk for a living. And so if I just look good in a picture or on a filter, or if I'm sitting here like this, that's not really going to cut it. So I do love the fact that the entire time I'm complaining about my face, he's looking at it and he's noticing how it moves and whatnot. So when I look at my face right now, I feel like Droopy the dog. That's exact. I mean, I feel
Is there
like
an actual cartoon character named
yes.
Droopy the dog? Is there really?
I can remember
Do you guys know
it.
Droopy the dog?
And he's got the jowls that are down here. He's like he's a
You guys know
bloodhound.
Droopy the dog?
Yeah, he's a bloodhound.
He's a bloodhound.
wow,
And when he
wow.
runs, his jowls are going like this.
I think
That's
we need
how
to
I
pull
feel.
up Droopy
I'm
the
like,
dog and see if there's any resemblance. I'm pretty sure there's no resemblance
I
whatsoever.
see Droopy the dog. It's like, at what point did my face take on two whole new dimensions? I know I have my jaw, I know I have my chin, but now I've got two new bumps over here that are just like, boom. And so I feel it just pulls this whole thing.
Do you want to show
That's exactly.
Oh wow,
that's me.
this is Droopy the dog.
This is Droopy the dog, and that's exact. It's like side by side, right?
There's
You
no,
see?
no.
I feel like Droopy the dog.
But you know what I love about this though is, you know, is that somebody who's so beautiful can feel like they look like this.
I do.
And so I think
I can't get past
we
it.
all have our days like that. I mean, there's not a person out there that doesn't have their day where they don't feel like they're their best. And the thing that's great is fillers actually do give you that little bit of a boost and
I've
make you
seen
feel a little
it.
bit
I've seen it, and
more
that's why I'm a
confident.
believer. And plus, if I don't focus on this, I'm going to have to worry about this, my butt, and I'm much rather this. I got plenty of filler
Well,
there.
you know, there's so many things I want to say to that, but I'm not going to. So, you know,
so that's what bothers me.
So that was what bothers me.
That bothers me. My eyes. I feel like I'm feeling a little scrunchy and there, and yeah, just this whole area is bothering me.
Sure.
This-
So, you know, one of the things that's really important if you're doing fillers is really to understand what beauty looks like. And one of the key things about looking beautiful as a woman is having the heart-shaped face.
Yes.
And so when she starts to feel like this is droopy, what she's saying is her face isn't like this anymore. It's starting to go a little bit more like that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create that illusion by doing a couple things. We're going to put a little bit of cheek here to give you more volume here, which will make it look more heart-shaped this way. And then we're also going to do a little bit of filler back here to smooth that little bump that she's talking about. So we're going to try to redefine the jawline here, and hopefully that'll give that illusion that we're lifting this up as well. And then one of the things that happens with birthdays is the cheek starts to descend just a little bit.
I feel like my
Barely,
face is
right?
trying to catch the rest of my body. It's in a race.
And so we'll just put a little bit of filler there as well. And let me see, what else are we talking about? Well, I have
I
a
think
whole
we're
chart here.
doing the Botox in the neck.
Yep,
'cause
we're doing the
that's another
Botox.
thing.
Well, we're actually doing filler in the neck.
Filler in the neck.
Yeah, we're doing filler in the neck.
You know, that's one thing that you ignore in your 30s because everything is still looking pretty good, And I didn't even think about my neck, putting moisturizer and serums there until my neck started really screaming at me like, I'm so dry.
Right.
And now.
And you know, it's really fun because young women look at their crow's feet and they look at these creases here. But women, when they get older, start to look at the lower third of their face. This is where everybody, forget the crow's feet, this is what really bothers
And that's
me,
where
right?
you really age. I mean, look at this. Oh, I'm back in my 30s.
Yeah.
See?
So we've got some tricks we're going to do.
Okay,
Now we prepared a tray, and the reason I'm showing this is we don't do this for everybody, okay? If you look at this tray, this is pretty extravagant. You know, you've got a lot of product here. And the reason I point this out is a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to look fake, I don't want to look weird. And if you look at this tray, we probably won't use all of it, but there's a lot of filler here. But if you keep in mind one thing, when you look at this tray, you're like, holy smokes, that's a lot, right? But it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these to make 1 teaspoon. Wow. So 5 of these 5 will only equal 1 teaspoon. So if we look here, we really have less than 2 teaspoons of product. So, you know, when I'm telling people you need 3 syringes, they're like, oh, that sounds like a lot. It's really not a lot. And we're going to see in ginger that it's not going to be a lot. So, and don't be afraid, don't be intimidated by this either, because you don't have to do all this, you know. And so we tailor it to each one of our patients.
I tell you what though, because I started younger, I remember one of my good girlfriends, Libby, she told me to get to Botox my angry line. The wrinkle doesn't set in. And so I feel like I'm really delaying the major stuff by doing little tweaks every couple of years, which I don't know.
It's called maintenance. And what's great is we're going to be using, because somebody was asking what products we're going to use. So the first product we're going to use is we're going to use Voluma. And Voluma is a 2-year filler because Ginger's like, I don't want to come back all the time, right? Running back and forth from San Diego.
It's not that I don't want to see you.
No, I'm going to use a short one because I love Ginger.
Yes.
Ginger's like feeding my soul. It's like the best thing ever.
Aw, Santa Tim.
This is a 2-year filler, and it's Voluma, and Voluma means volume, right? And so this is one where we're going to do a little bit of volume in the cheek area. And so it's really great for that. And we're going to get started here by just starting to put a little bit in the cheeks. And you'll see we're just going to try to give that illusion of that heart-shaped face. Now, if anybody has questions, feel free to ask too, because I don't mind doing that.
I know everybody wants to know if it hurts. No. They numb up your face. My kids say I don't have any feelings. But Tim is, I mean, Dr. Joshin, do you mind that I call you Tim? I never even asked you that.
No,
I call him Dr. Joshin and his potions. I call him Tim. I call him Santa Tim, Santa, I mean, you name it. But whatever his technique is, and you know, the very first time he ever did Botox on me, you used some little machine that was kind of like pulsating on my face. You put it in one spot and then you were doing the injection at the same time. So it's almost like he's, you know, sleight of hand. Look over here.
Well, and that's one thing, I'm glad you brought that up too, Ginger. Ginger's a pro, and she's very
Needed
calm.
a lot of work is what he's trying to say.
No. What I mean is she's very calm about this. Some people get nervous about the pain. And you can see Ginger, I just did a whole syringe that took me like 20 seconds. She didn't flinch, right? No. But for most people, they can't do that. And the reason I don't provide Ginger with the accessories like the vibrators and the chillers and things like that to minimize pain is because you wouldn't be able to hear the audio. So you know.
No. But anyway. It's also Dr. Joshin's technique. I mean, he's been doing this for so long, even though he's only 26 years old.
Thank you,
Ginger. However,
how dare you reveal my true age in public?
However he has mastered putting these needles into my face, you just don't feel it. I mean, there's a slight little pinch. You hear more than you feel, I think. There's kind of like a little crunchiness. But otherwise, no, it's not a painful thing at all. I think it hurts more to look at my droopy face. No, I'm just kidding.
Beautiful face.
What hurts more? It hurts.
Okay,
it hurts more to get a tangle out of your hair. Honestly, I mean, it's just not. It's not a painful procedure whatsoever.
Okay, so now we've enhanced the cheek just a little bit, and so the next product we're moving on to is Velour, and Velour is in the Juvederm family. But the difference between Velour and Voluma is the Voluma is thicker. This one's going to be a little bit finer. So we're going to move down to the jawline now with this product. Now I can use Voluma there, but I worry a little bit if it's too bulky because we don't want a woman to have a very bulky jawline. We just want it to be defined and soft and feminine. So I'm going to go to a product that's not quite as bulky.
The very first time, do you mind if I talk?
No, please do.
The very first time that I had some of these done, I really did a lot of research on what he was putting in my face. And I found out the different textures, how some of them grab onto each other and others are more meant to be moldable, which I didn't think I could feel the difference between. But then as he's done them, I know exactly what he is talking about now. Some I can, after he does them, and again, you don't want to mess with your own face. Let him mess with it and let him put it where he wants to. But you can feel, I don't know, kind of like an accumulation under the skin if you're looking for it, but it's soft. And so it's not like you feel like you have these lumps in your face. Because I know somebody asked me before a couple of years ago, they go, do you feel like you've got something there? No, it feels like my cheekbone is back, but softer. It definitely has a nice amount of give, but you don't want to sleep on your face.
Now, here's a question for you. You've had a little bit in your lip. Do you notice anything with kissing? Do you notice a different sensation in kissing when you have the filler? Because some people ask that question, and I used to put a lot in my lips, and
I think maybe
I
you
never
can
even thought about it.
tell there's a little bit more lip to kiss,
I'm sorry about that.
but other than that, there's not like a feeling.
My husband has big lips, though. Maybe he's trying to compete with me.
Natural?
Yes. Yeah. We
Is
don't
he a
like
good
him very
kisser?
much.
We want some secrets here.
He's not bad. He was good
Okay,
enough
I want to
to
take this to the next level. Is it the best kiss you've ever had?
Hands
You're on
down.
camera.
Hands down. Hands down. Yeah.
Okay, good.
He didn't win me over with his money.
Okay, so now we've
It's so funny when he sees that.
okay, so now that's the second syringe, and let's just take a look. I need to step back
Okay.
in the front and take a look and see how we're doing
And
here.
as far as the different sensations that you feel around your jawline, obviously you have nerves there. So it's almost like, somebody's just kind of holding your jaw and, like when I mouthed off to my parents too much.
Okay, so now we've done the two velour here, and you can see the jawline is just straightening out. Can you guys see that here when we look at that?
Oh,
So it's
yay.
just softening
This
up
is
a
the
little
best
bit.
part, watching the reactions, honestly. Because we did it out there the very first time, and I just remember people's eyes going,
Well, a lot of people are like, how is she doing that? Because it's a lot that's going on here. So next thing we're
I'm
going
not
to do,
doing anything.
next thing we're going to do is we're going to soften these
Oh,
nasolabial
thank God.
folds right here.
Thank God.
And let me talk about the product. I just wasted a little injection there. So this one we're going to Restylane.
Oh
and
gosh,
this
I can already see it.
Isn't that
I
looking great?
love you. I love you.
It's a mutual love foster. It's so great. Okay, so this one is Restylane Refine, or Define, excuse me. This one is a 8 or 12-month filler, and what's special about this one is I like to do this demonstration where we start to squirt this out. And if you watch, wait, if I have to go really slow. This product will stay together, and see how it's just sort of slowly coming out of the syringe, but it's not breaking off into crumbs. And you'll see if you can
Oh,
do it
that's
this way.
so
Wait.
important.
So this one's really elastic, so it stays in place and it moves with your face. And if you see when I do this, it'll stretch out, as the other ones will not do this. So it's got very unique properties, and that's why I like it around the mouth, because it's going to look natural and it's going to move with your face.
That lines that everybody complains about.
These are nasolabial. These are the marionettes down here. Yeah.
I got them both.
Ginger, you are very funny.
Whatever, and my daughter was, I was telling Samantha, my daughter just got her phlebotomy license.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so she's pre-med and she wanted to work in other facets of the hospital, and so I sent her all the syringes, and she got a little giddy. Because she loved, but there is truly a technique to however you are, again, puncturing the skin, because it's just so nothing.
So you can see how nicely this is plumping out. And again, we don't want to overfill any areas. And that's one of the problems that we used to have with fillers was people were overfilling areas and making transitions
mouth.
disappear. And so they would get like the monkey mouth because they were putting in too much
so
in one
bad.
area. So you want to keep the areas well defined and just looking natural. And you can see how much softer that looks already. And that's just with one syringe of filler. Okay. Good.
I don't like to talk when you're around my mouth. I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, everybody knows the monkey mouth. Again, I always just call them the Desperate Housewives because, you know, because. But they all had that same monkey mouth. They all looked exactly the same. And you saw all these different ethnicities. And it's like they all shouldn't look the same. Why are all their lips up to here and their mouths out to here?
No, it would get crazy. So now we're going to go to the marionette lines. And again, I'm going to use the same filler. So on to the next filler. It's Restylane Define again. And so this is an elastic one. And it's going to work great in the marionette lines as well. And of course, Ginger really doesn't have much of a marionette line. And I also like to sort of put a little bit into the chin as well, not to make the chin big, but one of the things that people don't realize is you start to lose the round surface on the chin as we get more birthdays. And oftentimes it'll get more dimply, and they can call it a cellulite chin, and it's not a very attractive look. So by putting just a little bit in that area, we keep that youthful appearance of the chin.
That was one of you Botoxed my chin, I thought.
And we're going to do that again today, too. Because when you talk, you can get puckering. And of course, Ginger has very minimal puckering going on with the chin or dimpling. But we're going to make sure there's none. Because smooth surfaces typically look best in terms of beauty. So we're just giving her a little bit. And Ginger, you are incredible. And you didn't have anything to drink even, did you?
No. Well, I had coffee on my way over. What do you mean?
But no champagne or anything like that.
And you want to know why? Because I know what alcohol does to the potential for bruising.
Yep, exactly. Okay, now she has a little dimple in her cheek, so I'm going to use a little bit of the Define. The Voluma is more bulky, but it spreads out a little bit, giving a smooth surface, but in this situation, I want it to stay in place. So I want to get rid of this dimple just a little bit. I like dimples in certain areas, but not in the middle of the cheek so much.
Words like cellulite on your face is going to give me nightmares. That was a new one. That was fun, Tim. I appreciate that. You know, it was kind of, again, one of the very... I'll stop talking.
Sorry.
No.
And a lot of people, this little crease drives them crazy, so we're just going to put a little bit of filler. And I'm going to, since I'm down here, I'm just going to interrupt for 1 second and say, one of the great things is, you know, people always worry about bruising, and you can see I've already used, I think, like 4 or 5 syringes of filler, and Ginger doesn't have one bruise on her face. And so
that's
people
because
try
of your technique, though.
Well, not necessarily, because some people will look like an eggplant when they've had this done, because they turn that black and blue. But the thing that I like to show is that some people don't bruise at all, and some people go, well, it's because you're going fast, or because you're doing this or that. It's really, some people bruise and some people don't bruise.
But I do know that alcohol, if you drink alcohol before you do that,
yes,
you are upping your ante, because you're thinning your blood, you know? So I tried not to. Or I mean, I didn't.
Okay, and she's got a little bruise there. I'm going to use my demo every time because you're not bruising at all. Makes me look like a superstar.
You are a superstar. Well, one of the first things he ever did, though, is you did that chin thing, and I noticed it. You know, immediately with a picture, I went, I can't believe something in my chin had that kind of an impact. And so, again, that's why I absolutely, as you can tell, I'm one of Tim's biggest cheerleaders. But I appreciate the fact that, first of all, I don't tell him what to do. I tell him what I don't like, and then I trust what he does with it because he's seen it. He knows what the after effect is going to be, and despite what I think I look like, because we all have that, right? Like, I know what I think I'll look like. But he can actually see what my face is doing and what it's capable of doing.
Right,
So,
and I really appreciate that because I have studied this for years and years and years. So oftentimes I really do have some valuable input. Now, I don't mind if people know what they want because I'm fine with that. But I also like it if we can work together.
don't you teach too?
I do,
At
yeah.
USC?
I've done that for 18 years. Isn't that crazy?
That is
I
wild.
know. And not one person has ever called me professor.
What do they call you? The
Doctor.
king?
No, but I've done that for 18 years and I'm a professor. Nobody's ever said professor.
Okay.
So maybe I'm going to have people call me Dr. Professor or Professor Doctor.
Well, I think we could take this show on the road because with a name like Ginger and you're the professor,
I love it, Ginger.
we've got kind of a Mary Ann going over here. I think he's gonna be Gilligan. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, we got a little spot here. Now I'm
Excellent.
using a little bit of velour just to soften everything because I've done some work in these areas. So now I'm just softening the transitions between them. And we're gonna give her, she has a, we always get a little bit of loss of volume around the temple. So this is velour. Again, it's that sort of, it's one that's a little bit mushy and smooth is what I should say. Smooth is a better word than mushy.
Does this
But it
freak you
just
guys
softens
out?
the temples.
No? Yeah. It's awesome. And you hear the crunchy. That's the funniest part. I'm like, what's crunching in my face? I hear crunchiness.
It's breaking through the collagen fibers.
Is that what's
That's what it
happening?
is, yeah. So in your skin, you've got the epidermis, the outer layer, and you've got the dermis, which is full of collagen fibers, which are,
Okay,
that's what you're hearing
Professor.
pop through.
You're,
Oh my God, that's
You're
the first
breaking
time.
my
I
collagen?
love it.
are we supposed to be breaking my collagen?
Well, we're not breaking your collagen, we're just penetrating through it. It doesn't damage it at all. but
We're
it just
plumping
penetrates.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got to work on that part of it.
Right.
Part of that show where you say breaking my collagen.
Breaking
gotta
through.
The cellulite on
So-
the face comment, and then breaking up the collagen.
Yeah, we're going to work on the verbiage there because I agree with you. Okay, so now I want you guys, we just have one more we're going to use.
got a
so
big
we've
fat
used
face,
that
though.
whole thing. And Ginger isn't looking fat or overfilled or unnatural or anything, right? Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to do some of these fine lines on her neck. And I'm using a different product, and this product is Refine. This one is, again, one of those elastic type products, and that means it stays together really nicely. But the thing with this one is that it's a finer particle, so we can use it in the neckline, and hopefully it'll just disappear. So this is going to be great to help soften those necklines.
I think they should call it unwind.
Unwind?
Unwind the clock.
I love that. See here, yeah. Okay, here we go.
The neckline.
That is good.
Here we go.
Do you ever? No, it honestly does not hurt. I mean, again, you feel a real tiny pinch, and is talking bad right now, or is it okay?
No, you can talk. Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's not affecting anything.
The thing, honestly, I always look at, all right, well, is it risk or reward? Right now, I know what's happening, and that's more exciting than this little tiny pinch, you know? And again, it is the tiniest pinch ever.
And
What?
we do put topical numbing on
Yeah.
as well too, so that helps to minimize a little bit of the pain.
Yeah, the topical numbing is great. And for people that are really nervous, we can give them Valium, just to take the edge off.
Oh, really? People
Yeah.
get that worked up? Well, I guess
People do, yeah. Some people are really terrified.
I can understand that, especially if it's their first time. But I mean, I don't know. I just have a huge amount of trust in you, and I know where you live.
I was gonna say we've known each other a while,
Yeah.
and you have access to the media too.
Oh,
That's the scariest thing.
no. They're crazy. Can you see the neck? It's. Oh, really? I even said to Tim, I said, I want to do a neck lift soon. And he
Wow.
said, no, we can fix it.
Yeah, no, not yet.
This is amazing.
Although I'm kind of fanatic about
What's,
facelifts too, because I think it's do it young.
Yeah, well, you still have the skin.
Yeah, well,
to-
you still have the elasticity, so it'll camouflage it.
What's your favorite part about the face that you can make the biggest difference with, you think?
To me, the eyes are really a simple thing to do. Like if you start to have saggy skin around the eyes, you just do a little laser and maybe a little bit of trim of the skin, and it just looks so youthful. That's not something you have to worry about at all.
You did my friend Catherine's eyes. You did a lid, whatever. Took 25 years off. I couldn't believe
No,
it.
it really makes a huge difference.
It was unbelievable.
Okay, so next thing we're on to is doing the Botox?
It's
The Botox? Botox today. Because we have Botox and we have Dysport. To me, they're interchangeable, but I wasn't sure which one they put on the tray because it doesn't matter to me. Either one is the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that little bit of dimpling in her chin. And so we do just 5 units, not very much at all, into the chin. Okay, we did that. That's easy. And then we're going to go into the crow's feet because those were bothering her a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And I just cannot believe you haven't gotten one bruise.
You're that good.
God is smiling on us.
You are that good. Okay, what's the difference with the needles? Because this, you don't even feel a prick.
These are tiny needles.
These are-
yeah,
these don't
tiny,
even
tiny,
exist.
tiny. But believe it or not, people don't
Well, no,
like
I get it. No,
Okay,
I've been
well-
told a lot. For many years, I have no feelings.
When did that all start? When your children were born?
Earlier.
Earlier?
My siblings, I mean, I have no feelings. I'm the baby though, so I get picked on.
Oh, there you go.
That's okay though, because when I grew up, I dated my brother's friends.
Oh, you did?
Guess who had the last laugh?
Okay, so now that is really it in terms of our demonstration with Ginger's
I get
fillers.
Jennifer, Julie, Gina, Gigi. Somebody came into the
Ginger.
station. They go, "Oh, we want you to meet our dog Juju," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's really cute. Hi, Juju." And they're like, "Yeah, we named her after you." And I said, "My name's Ginger." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, the way John White says your name, we thought he said Juju." And so they named, no, true story.
Oh,
It was very
no,
sweet.
that
Could
is the funniest
I know,
thing.
she was cute. She was a little barky though, so kind of like me, yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
now we're just going to review what we did because we injected all
Yeah.
those syringes. It didn't take that long, but she's had what we call the liquid facelift. So we're using the injectables to do a facelift.
I didn't know
And yeah, so go ahead and take a look. So we did the temples here, and then we lifted up the cheeks here. We softened these lines here, the
Holy cow.
nasolabial fold lines. The marionettes softened up. We enhanced the chin just a little bit, refreshed
Oh my
the
gosh.
jawline, and I want to just show the camera from the side. See how smooth and natural that looks.
No joke, and I know my daughter will never look on Facebook, so she won't see this. My very first, nanosecond glance, I saw my daughter. 'Cause
Oh, I love that.
but, no
I
joke.
love that.
No
That's
joke.
great.
I mean, and I get it. I looked at my eyes and I looked closer and I realized it's me. But
Uh-huh.
it's like we look very similar, and I saw her face structure. You have
No, it looks
gotten
great.
back to
Yeah, that youthful. And no, what dog is that called? Droopy dog. No droopy dog.
Yeah, no droopy dog. No, you took it all away. See,
Yes.
but you got rid of all that. That's
Isn't that
what I
great?
mean.
Yeah, it just softens it all up.
Thank you.
Yes,
This is
of
so
course.
awesome.
Of
There's
course.
a
Wow.
question from Colleen Ayer
Okay.
on YouTube. It said, I have a deep wrinkle in the glabellar region.
Uh,
What product should I ask for?
You can really use any in that
What
area.
region is she talking about?
The
First of all?
glabella, which is this
Oh.
area here. These are the 11s, which Ginger has none of.
He didn't mean it.
But, to me, you can use any of them, but my favorite is going to be the Restylane Define because it lasts a little bit longer and it's elastic, so it's going to stay in place. So that's my favorite one. And if it's a deep crease, you may also need to do a subcision. That's where we take a little blade and we put a needle up in there, and it'll take away that crease between your eyes as well.
And that's what I was talking about.
combo.
If you do it early, my friend Libby, she told me to get that zapped, and I think I was 33. I didn't really feel like I needed anything, but because I started that at 33, I don't have any of those deep set lines. Now 15 years later, not
Right,
quite
right.
15 years later.
And I
but-
just think it looks so good.
Thank
It's just a
you.
little bit swollen right here, but that's going to go down. But it looks gorgeous.
And the Lanacane, doesn't it kind of swell you up
That
a little
swells it
bit
up
too?
a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is a puffy version of what it's going to be, and I'm just.
But you
always
know, with
amaze me.
Ginger, it's almost like it just all goes right into place for her. It's just your
Well,
genetics
but
thing,
no,
so.
no.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. So,
Yeah.
how exciting is this? No bruising, no nothing.
Nope. Looks good. Does anybody have questions at all? Nope.
All right.
Okay, thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for coming in and watching. I appreciate it.
The professor.
I love that.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you all so much.